Welcome to Brand Lover, honest, real, and lively conversations for flourishing entrepreneurs and budding business owners on a mission to cultivate a heartfelt brand that connects with their purpose-driven mission. My hope is that you walk away feeling inspired and refreshed with a weekly takeaway in your back pocket that you can apply to your life or business. Welcome back to Brand Lover. This is officially our first podcast episode for 2024. I hope you have had the most magnificent start to the year and you're feeling fresh and motivated and ready to go. I feel like January is almost a write-off for a lot of businesses. It takes a little bit of time to sort of reset and get those cogs turning again, particularly those of us who are sort of running a business around our families. For me, that is particularly, true. But I have some very exciting news to start off with. I don't know if you would have noticed when you downloaded or tapped into this episode, but we have new podcast artwork. I'm very excited about this because it's been a long time coming. So when I started this podcast, it was something that had been brewing away for a long time and sort of eating away at me. And it took a little bit of courage, to be honest, to sort of rip off the Band-Aid. So it all happened very quickly. And if I hadn't done it quickly, I probably would never have done it at all. So now that we're 106 episodes in, it's time to give Brand Lover that little touch of TLC that she deserves. So yeah, let me know if you like it. I just wanted to first, before we get into the branding insights topic, I wanted to share a little bit about my word of the year. I don't know if you have a word of the year. I find it helpful. I haven't actually had one the last couple of years. I just nothing ever quite sat right with me for the last couple of years, but and I wasn't intending on having one this year, but a word of the year, basically, it acts as a guide. So it's intended to help you, to steer you throughout the year towards the things that you would like to achieve. So it guides you, it pushes you, it motivates you and reassures you when you're not quite sure if you're on the right pathway. It's kind of like an anchor or a focus, shall we say. You can use it in many different ways. But my word of this year is renewal. So it actually came to me with intense clarity and I'm 100% rolling with it. And so with this fresh motivation of this word of the year, renewal, the first thing to receive the royal renewal treatment is the podcast. It's all very exciting. I can't wait to sort of get into this year with the podcast. I've got lots of ideas and I'm excited to introduce you to a fresh new wave of inspiring guests and insightful episodes that will help to keep your your brand flourishing. So as this title suggests, I'm here to share some branding insights for 2024. And I would like to start this by setting the scene. So unless you've been living under a rock, which I doubt you have, 2023 saw the rise of artificial intelligence, particularly more practically implemented into our everyday business, whether that's marketing, actually mainly marketing. So, you can use it for content creation, for copywriting, hashtag research. You can even create advertising imagery and definitely not least of all, even logo designs. I'm just to sort of, I don't mean to jump around here, but the whole point of the entire branding process, including visual branding, is to set yourself apart from your competitors in the hearts and minds of your most ideal customers, to endear your brand to them with such strength and connection that your brand will be etched into their memory. Temptation to use templates, free logo generators, even cheap Etsy files, is strong, especially if you're just starting out. But please just ask yourself these questions before diving in, before you start using artificial intelligence to help you create anything at all in regards to your brand that is going to be associated with your brand, that is going to be communicating your brand, that is going to be representing your brand. Do I own these designs, or do I have permission to use them? Am I infringing copyright? Where did the original source files come from? Are the designs similar to my competitors? Will I be able to trademark the design in the future when my business grows? Are the designs relevant and eye-catching? And do they evoke an emotional response in my ideal customer? I could go on, but I think you're quite, hopefully you understand what I'm trying to say here. The point is that in order to truly stand out in an already saturated marketplace and combat the artificial intelligence force that is only getting stronger, you need to lean into your superpowers and allow your quirks to shine and embrace your humanness. The temptation to have something create for you is so strong because it just feels easy. It's like the path of least resistance. But we all know that that path is not necessarily the one that's going to lead you where you need to be going. So basically, I would encourage you in 2024, particularly now that we're in this kind of environment where a lot of business owners are going to be leaning into AI generated everything, to focus on what makes you, what makes your brand unique, and really embrace that and put a spotlight on it, even if sometimes it feels hard. And this also means that we need to be focusing on connection over perfection. Trust your innate power of communication and focus on cultivating relationships over speaking or writing in a way that feels generic or mass-produced to your audience. Another one is personal outreach. Personal outreach and referral networking is definitely on the rise, and for good reason. Because as we finally break free from the shackles of COVID crowd avoidance, and I think there has been a hangover of that the last year or two, it's time to now pull up your big girl panties and pound the pavement. Almost every time I attend a networking event, I meet someone who eventually becomes a client or refers me to a new client. Even though as an introvert, I always find it that I have to really summon the courage to go, but it's always fruitful. So never underestimate the power of people. Okay, so as for visual branding trends, and I want to caveat this by saying that I'm not very trendy myself. I'm not a cool girl, to be honest. I do, however, I tend to gravitate towards aesthetics that are authentically aligned rather than, fast fashion-y type stuff, even in the design world. And the same goes for the brands that I create as well, because trends, they're great and all, and they, they shine for a little while and they're cool and they get a lot of attention for a short time, but they almost always become fads, and fads fade quickly. So there's absolutely no point investing in a visual brand that isn't going to stand the test of time, and your audience basically is going to dump quite quickly simply because your style is dated. The brands that are going to thrive in 2024 are the ones that truly embrace human connection, don't succumb to generic temptation, and protect their brand by investing in assets that are unique to them, their message, and their mission. If you want to stay in the realms of home hobbyist, templates are fine. But if you truly want to set yourself up for growth, the only way to truly future-proof and certainly AI-proof your brand is through a customized branding process that culminates in a bespoke collection of brand messaging and visual brand assets that are truly unique. In my opinion, that the very best way to do this is through hand-illustrated designs, icons, elements, logo collections, that sort of thing, that all point towards the message you want to be the most clear to your audience. And I should also include brand photography in this list as well. And even if you're not at the point of wanting to trademark your brand, or even understand why you might want to, that's okay. Go and search for the episode about trademarking with trademark lawyer Lisa Wynn, and you certainly will educate yourself in that area. But at the very least, these types of elements are impossible to copy and are guaranteed to be unique and distinctive to your brand. So I don't think I took a breath that whole podcast. There you have it. Humanness is in, mass marketing is out. And even if you're not quite ready to go all in on your brand, to elevate it to become an artistic feast to your ideal customers' eyes and leave a lasting mark on their hearts, remember that, just really simply, the antidote to generic is originality. So the more creative you are with your brand, the more memorable your brand will be. And the more memorable your brand is, the more people will flock to it. If you found this episode inspiring or helpful, I invite you to share the link with another woman in business or someone who needs to hear this message. Every woman we can support to grow a meaningful, profitable brand is another woman who is free to live a purposeful life for herself and be more present for her family. None of us are alone in the challenges we face in business, but the solution can start with a gift from someone else, and it could be a podcast episode just like this one. Thank you for listening.